2 years. It's been 2 years since we've rewound the tape.
2 years too long.
Well, you know, when you go off and do Jet Li's The One and it gets 13,000 views.
That was our last one. Yeah, I mean.
We do the exact opposite of what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
We thought, oh, we'll just lean in and we'll just capitalize off all these views.
And only do Jet Li movies.
And instead, we just kept reviewing movies week to week.
We just wanted to find the perfect film to do this.
Right.
Because we talked Wild Things, maybe.
We talk about those movies you used to find at the Walmart things.
Yeah.
Wild Things was definitely in there.
Yeah, Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale.
Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire was another one.
We're really loving this like early 2000s zone.
But then we finally come upon it.
Because 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
This summer.
Well, that summer, yeah.
That summer,
2003. Yeah. What a summer for movies. Because you get Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah.
You get Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Released the same week, you get League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I'm sorry, that's not what it's called. It's called LXG.
No.
LXG. LXG.
Where to go with this movie? It's everywhere. If you've never heard of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, let me paint you a brief history lesson. So as you know, there's this trilogy that came out based on a widely popular book known as The Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
There's also The Matrix, which I previously mentioned. And there was one other movie, but Sean Connery turned them all down.
Yeah.
Especially The Lord of the Rings. They offered him like 15% profit
Yeah.
or something. So he would have been set. I mean, he was already set because he was James Bond. The legend goes that he was just going to take whatever script came next, and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen came to his table and he signed on the dotted line. Yep. But also, Stuart Townsend kicked off the set of Lord of the Rings before they started filming. Yeah, joins this movie.
I know they're not tied together, the success of Lord of the Rings, but man, just thank you, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, for not allowing Sean Connery or Stuart Townsend to be in Lord of the Rings.
Man, and what an action movie this is.
Yeah,
it's based on a comic book by noted grumpy man Alan Moore, who hates everything that has been turned into a movie that he wrote.
But early enough in this that his name is still on this movie.
That's right.
So he still got a little dough from it.
And it did kind of turn a profit after rentals and everything. So he did make a little bit of money off of it, but he obviously disowned it, just like he disowns all the Watchmen stuff. I'm going to try to explain the plot. Don't know if I can.
I got it.
Yeah.
What if there were an Avengers team, but instead of superheroes and like just cool people, let's just get literary figures.
That are in the public domain.
That are totally free to use, so we can do whatever we want with them.
Yes.
And that's the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And I think now there's been more iterations of the League, if you will.
But... And it's not like a new concept when Alan Moore did it, because everyone was like, there was always like, what if, this person and this person teamed up? It's always been like a thing. But this was directed by Stephen Norrington, who did the first Blade movie. Yeah. Which was sort of a low-budget action movie. Not really. Marvel didn't know what they were doing. They just sort of like, well, we'll do this one. And it was low budget, and it wasn't really a big team. And then it's very noted that him and Sean Connery did not get along filming this movie. And Steven basically hated working with a big crew. And it shows.
Well, it's like this kind of just tanks his career.
Yeah.
Like, Blade is really great. And this movie is something.
You go from great to...
Yeah. They'll be the world's last hope. And the game is on.
It stars, as we know, Sean Connery as Alan Quatermain.
Quatermain.
But then you have Nasir Rudin Shah as Nemo, who, as you know, from the League, so Under the Sea.
20,000.
20,000 of them, actually, yeah. But the submarine, the Nautilus.
Yep.
You have Peta Wilson as Dr. Mina Harker, who, if no one knows, is from the Dracula stories. She's the wife of the guy that gets kidnapped.
Yeah. She's Winona Ryder's.
Yes.
She's pretty much Winona Ryder in the movie. Yeah.
The Invisible Man.
Yep.
You have
one of the iterations because they couldn't use all of it.
He stole the formula to
Yeah.
get the Invisible Man because you can't use the original Invisible Man because that's owned by
Universal.
You have Stuart Townsend as Dorian Gray. Great casting, I will say.
I don't know, man. This is just bad acting.
In terms of like how he looks.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because if you see him in Queen of the Damned, you're like, man, this is a pretty guy. This is a pretty guy.
Yeah.
This is, I think, is the best casting in the movie. I'm of course talking Shane West as Tom Sawyer.
As Detective Tom Sawyer. No, CIA Tom Sawyer.
CIA
Agent Tom Sawyer.
But then also you have Richard Roxburgh, who is just in the early 2000s played every bad guy known to man.
As M, or Moriarty.
Yes, Dr. James Moriarty.
And then, and cannot forget about Jason Fleming.
Oh yeah, Jason Fleming as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Who really just great. I actually really like Jason Fleming.
His performance in it is good.
Yeah.
The CGI around him, well, the way they play, he's wearing like a costume the whole time.
Suit, yeah.
So they play with perspective.
Yeah.
They're probably like, hey, they did this in Lord of the Rings, we can do that too. So basically the plot is it's a race against time to stop some world event.
World War III.
Yeah.
Or World War II.
It's one of the world wars.
It would have been the First World War.
Yeah.
Because this happens, takes place in like the late 1900s.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They don't know what tanks.
Not late 1900s, late 1800s.
Oh. No, I thought it was always...
If it was the late 1900s, it would have been 1999.
Oh, sorry, the late 19th century.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. No one knows what tanks are. No one knows what technology is. It's crazy that this dude has like a submarine, and pretty much M is like, I'm going to start a world war, and I'm going to use the League doing it, because who doesn't want to see in the first movie the League fight the same League over and over again?
And it's great how they explain like all these new world things.
Yeah.
Right off the jump, Alan Quatermain in the middle of Africa is fighting dudes that are wearing armor-plated suits, and they're shooting machine guns. And he's like, people are like, how would they do automatic rifles? That's insane.
Well, the opening is this tank starts rolling. And they're like, what is this monster? Like, they just don't know what it is.
But I will say, like, the editing of it is very weird because Sean Connery obviously can't move at his age at this time. So there's a lot of jump cutting, and it's frenetic in a way that is annoying.
Yeah. Oh, wait, are you talking about, you don't believe that Sean Connery jumped out of a moving vehicle and landed flat on his feet when no one else could either?
I believe he could.
Yeah.
If he really tried.
Going about maybe 60 miles an hour.
It's insane what's happening in this movie because, as you said, it's like, it's the first real like attempt at an Avengers type of movie. I mean, you got that in previous stuff before, but...
I think it's just that this wanted the hype of like, ooh, haven't you ever wanted to see Tom Sawyer hang out with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? And it's like, no, I don't. Like,
never.
It's supposed to like invoke the feelings of like when you see that like shot in the Avengers where they're all together for the first time, but it doesn't because honestly no one cares.
Because it's all characters that have no connection to each other. Like Alan Quatermain by himself would make a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if Agent Tom Sawyer would never make a good movie. So I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
And it's not based on the comic book at all.
Yeah.
There's maybe a smidge from the comic books that makes it over. But also everyone, like immediately, you know Dorian Gray's going to turn on them.
Which is actually the best part of the movie when he does and they're playing like the record.
Because in the war to come, I intend to wield the greatest weapon of all. The power of the League itself.
Turn it off, Henry. Please turn it off.
To that end, I set my wolf among you sheep. Growl.
I tried to rewatch it. It took me like 5 days, and I just gave up about halfway through. You watch clips.
I watched.
The last part I remember watching is they're listening to the recording. It's like, yes, I had a wolf, and like M's like, yes, I had a wolf planted, and you just hear Dorian go,
growl.
Like he just, and it's because they're cool. There are interesting things in this movie.
Yes.
There are interesting ideas. Like there's a recording, but then it cuts to like M actually doing the recording, so you're not just listening to something. But it's just so goofy. Like, Stuart Townsend is, like, hamming it up the whole time. Like, he blows kisses, and he's just like, oh, it's just...
But, no, a lot of other people are playing it straight.
Yes.
So it kind of sucks when, like, Stuart Townsend's playing it so hammy.
Yeah.
But then Peta Wilson is just playing it so straight, and you're just like, this is supposed to be comedy.
Yeah. And Sean Connery is edited to look like he's having the time of his life. He has so many just one like there's I told you about this. There's a part where they're walking underground to a room, and he's like, "Whoa, where are we going? Australia?" And he's just like, man, no, like that's not like why would anyone say that? It is so early 2000s.
Yes.
And it's things that I think you could pull off well today if you had a great cast. But come on, no one's buying Shane West as a blonde Tom Sawyer. Why is he in there? It's just there's all this stuff too that's like, oh, Quartermain lost a son and his wife, but there's just weird stuff that we're expected to know because like the movie ends and Quartermain dies because there's the legend is that a witch doctor said that he would never as long as he's in Africa, like he would live forever. And then he dies. They go bury him back in Africa, and there was like a tease that maybe he's coming back.
So he would be a zombie in the next movie.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. And what really sucks is that Stephen Norrington is a good director. I mean, the first Blade is really great, and you see things in this movie like a lot of it looks practical. They do a lot of cool practical stuff. And then it's just in a bad movie, or it's just a bad script, or you have things with Sean Connery, and it's just so much could have been done. I think of someone like a Matthew Vaughn nowadays could like take this and just just kill it and just make it awesome.
And it doesn't help that the CGI was not where it should have been.
Yeah.
And there's clearly just so much of the CGI just tucked into different places, and you're just like it takes you out of it because. We saw this in theaters.
Yes.
So it's very present in my mind still, just like how bad it was on the big screen.
Yeah.
And now watching it at YouTube
Still
on
bad.
HD makes it worse.
So bad.
And so I would say I didn't want to watch it again just because of how bad it was. But I feel like if I had watched it and gave it like an appreciation, it'd probably be so bad it's good.
Yeah.
But also, there's just some long stretches I remember just of cringe dialogue.
It's boring.
Yeah.
And I think, and you brought up a good point. Like you'd rather just see a Quartermain movie. I'd rather just see a Nemo movie.
Yeah.
You know,
like
Nemo. Like there are good people in this movie that are giving like okay performances. Like Nemo may be after Jackal like the best person, and you're like, God, if I could just watch him and that the Ishmael guy like. Just do a whole movie. Just give me a 20,000 Leagues movie.
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting. Why haven't we seen more Jules Verne, just like Renaissance stuff? Because they're all so chock full of good stuff.
The Nautilus, like, aside from when it's bad CG, like, is a cool idea. This dude that's, like, way, like, they just don't explain it. They don't explain, like, yeah, this dude is Iron Man. Like, he just has so much future tech. Yeah. Like, they don't do a good job of setting up, like, no. Like, no one knows what a car is yet. Like, they're still talking, like Model T cars are like, hey, no one knows what a machine gun is. They do a really bad job of like where we're at in the story.
Yeah.
So.
Whereas Jet Li is the one where we're like, please go watch this movie because it's a fun. This one is probably just better enjoyed in clips on YouTube because, as JD said, there's long, boring stretches where they try to explain stuff and you're just like, bro, at this point, I don't care. We're 40 minutes in the movie. Just give me Dr.
This movie's like 2 hours long.
Yes.
It is long.
And when it came out, obviously, people were skeptical of pirates because they're like, who wants to see a movie about a ride at Disney? And everyone was like, well, League is going to make the most money this weekend. And it got blown out of the water.
Like, it's insane. Now, I did see both of them the same day. So,
So you probably enjoyed
like I remember being blown away by Pirates, but like anticipating LXG more. LXG.
So now, before I let you go,
okay,
because I know you're a busy man.
Yeah.
Are there any literary characters that you would like to see come together in a movie?
I don't know if it makes sense in context, but you know, it would be cool to have like a Three Musketeer. Not the candy bar, just one of them. Just one. Maybe a Ninja Turtle. Could you imagine a Ninja Turtle and a Three Musketeer?
I mean, it's basically the same story.
Ooh, in the Dorian Gray character, we get Gatsby instead. You know?
Great Gatsby?
Yeah, The Great Gatsby. And let's wrap things up with, I don't know, like Winnie the Pooh.
Cool, great, good.
Sounds rad, doesn't it?
No notes whatsoever. I'm going Steamboat Willie with Dracula. Let's do it.
Yo, so good. Wait, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Why does Mina not, like, have an aversion to the sun?
It's true. I have no idea.
Who knows?
It was Twilight before Twilight ever
before
was
Twilight.
a twinkle in anybody's
Uh-oh.
eye.
Is that a tease?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Growl.